Hi there, freelancers. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today we have another episode of Let's Talk Tech. Today we are going to talk about why personalizing Copilot chat is one of the smartest things that you can do for using AI in your freelance business. Now, I know from teaching Copilot classes as much as I do that one of the biggest misconceptions about AI tools like Copilot is that they should work the same way for everyone. But in actuality, they shouldn't, because you don't want to sound like a bot. You want your writing to reflect your voice in your writing style. Now, as a freelancer, you know that your written correspondence to your customers should always reflect your tone and your style. But if Copilot doesn't know how you like to express yourself or the style for your expression, you often end up spending just as much time correcting Copilot's output as you would if you had just created it yourself from scratch. And we all know that the purpose of these AI tools is to save us time and energy to help us be more efficient and productive. So this is why personalizing Copilot chat matters. When you personalize Copilot, you're not training it to replace your thinking. You're teaching it how to support your thinking and express itself more accurately, more consistently, and with less friction. And most of all, more aligned into the way that you express yourself. So the Copilot personalization option gives you the ability to complete a personalization section within your Copilot chat that allows you to tell it things like what you do so that it's answering through the lens of your particular role, how you prefer information to be presented. Do you prefer bulleted content? Do you prefer narrative content? Just as a for instance. Along with your tone and communication style, and the kind of tasks that you most often use Copilot for. And then, once you complete that personalization section with your preferences, Copilot will have more information about you and how you communicate, and that will allow it to reduce unnecessary explanations, match your unique writing voice more closely, make more relevant assumptions, and deliver outputs that need less editing, hence saving you time and energy. In other words, personalizing Copilot can help Copilot to stop acting quite like a generic assistant and start acting like your personal assistant. And that's important for freelancers for a few reasons. First of all, we don't have a lot of time to spend re-explaining ourselves. As freelancers, we are constantly switching context, whether that be switching to a different client communication, a different project. Sometimes we're in totally different industries on the exact same day. And personalization can save you from having to retype the same clarifications that you'd have across all of these prompts. Next, your credibility really depends on the consistency of your communications. Whether you're writing proposals, training materials, or client emails, your tone matters. Personalizing Copilot can help you stay aligned with how you communicate. And again, not think like a generic professional would. Now, in addition, you of course want outputs that are usable, not simply impressive. Many of us can get Copilot to output some fancy words, and in some cases that's perfect for our goal. But in other cases, that's not what we want. We don't necessarily need a flashy response. We need draft communications that we can actually send, outlines that we can add on to and build from, and summaries that really reflect how we think about the big picture. And last, it's important because you're building a system. And this is significant even if you're solo, because Personalizing Copilot is going to build a repeatable, reliable workflow for you. And it's not any different than if you are someone who's always been aligned to templates and checklists or saved prompts, which we've talked about recently on another episode. This will help you reduce friction and save mental energy. So where and how do you personalize Copilot Chat? Well, again, it's easy if you know where to look. Once you get into Copilot Chat, you are going to click on the ellipses and select the settings option. From there, you're going to choose personalization and custom instructions. And then you are going to either type in or paste in your personalized requests. Now, again, you can work on this, but one thing I would suggest is telling it your role and telling it how you like it to respond. Again, do you like bullets? Do you like narrative? Do you like detailed answers? Do you like quicker, shorter answers? Do you like it when it answers with emojis? Do you prefer that it omit emojis from your answer? Those are all things that you can decide. And of course, you have the opportunity to update this as frequently as necessary. Think of it as a living document, not a one-time setup. Now, one strategy that you can use that I have used in the past is that rather than taking the time to brainstorm all of the specifications that you would like Copilot to know, you can ask Copilot to generate your personalized request for you. So you can, for instance, enter something like the following into Copilot Chat. I entered, ask me a series of thoughtful questions to understand my freelance work, the types of tasks I use Copilot for, my communication style, my preferred level of detail, and how I like responses structured. Once I answer, generate a concise personalization summary that I can paste directly into Copilot Chat's personalization section. And you can see from what's shown on the screen that when you enter this prompt and you get the series of questions from Copilot and you answer the series of questions from Copilot, that indeed it does generate something that you could use to copy and paste in that personalization section if you'd like. So just follow those steps, answer the questions honestly and specifically, and you should have a solid start for the personalization with Copilot. Now, while every freelancer's personalization is going to look a little differently, strong ones do usually cover your role and expertise, the typical deliverables that you work on, whether that be writing or training or analysis or planning, your preferred tone. Do you tend to be direct? Are you conversational? Are you formal? Are you concise? How much explanation do you want in your Copilot generated output? Do you want minimal or do you want very detailed? Also, as previously mentioned, do you prefer bullets, steps, or narrative responses? The clearer you are in this section, the better Copilot will perform. So don't think of personalizing Copilot chat as being controlling. It's more about aligning Copilot to be the assistant that you need it to be. Because when Copilot understands how you work, it becomes faster, more accurate, and far more useful. For us as freelancers, that means fewer rewrites, less friction, and more time spent on the work that actually moves our businesses forward. So, in my opinion, if you're already using Copilot regularly, personalization isn't optional. It's the difference between using AI and working well with it. If this has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe, maybe even share it with a friend. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.